So, the F9F-8, quite a good looking plane in my opinion, and quite unique looking too. I could have made a full gameplay review on this plane with how long this game actually lasted, but each enemy was more than 10 kilometers away, so I won't make you sit and watch me gradually closing the distance between myself and the enemy. But also, another reason being that I haven't spaded the plane yet, and during this gameplay it is only half spaded, so I don't feel like I've flew it enough to actually do a full review on the plane. However, what I will tell you is that it does get 2 AIM-9Bs as stock, which is quite nice, and when it is spaded you do get 4 AIM-9Bs. This is an 8.3 plane, and it is an 8.3 to 9.3 game, so it is an up tier and it can hold its own. But what you will find is the further towards the top speed that you do get, you will start to compress real bad to the point where the plane doesn't maneuver at all. But below 700 kilometers an hour it seems to maneuver relatively decent. The plane does have 4 M3 20mm, which the American cannons always seem to be an absolute joy to use. And you'll see that I'm starting to dive on my first target, the G91. I am warming up a missile, getting ready to fire. I'm not expecting this missile to hit, but it does look like it's tracking quite well, surprisingly. But the G91 does manoeuvre just in time. And you'll see that I'm trying to pull lead here as I'm going over 1,000 kilometers an hour. And I can't get the lead on, and that is due to my aim there, but as he does roll around and pull towards the left, you can see that I can't pull with him at all here. The plane just isn't responsive enough at higher speeds. And I do look behind me to make sure that the Saber's not on my tail. He is chasing down my squad mate, shout out to Cheemsman. So I do just loop up in the vertical, trying to lose some airspeed to see if I can get my guns on target. The Saber does pull towards me, and he is tunnel visioned on Cheems. I do try and get a few shots, but under lead unfortunately, and just as I'm going over 800 kilometers an hour there, I'm not able to get my nose on target to let any more shots go. I do overshoot completely, so I'm just trying to make sure the Saber can't get his guns on target. And he does have a few people on his 6 now, so I decide to target the G91, shoot a missile which was never really going to track. It was a bit too close, but after a few shots I managed to take him down for kill number 1. I do try and turn around to see if I can get a few shots on the Saber, but my teammate does manage to take him out. So, after flying around for a little bit in search of my next engagement, I see a MiG-15 and a G91 in a bit of a tangle with a teammate, so I decide to go and help him. The G91's going vertical, so I decide to follow him to see if I can get a bit of a shot off. But I notice that the MiG-15 is pulling in towards me, and I don't really want to get into a turning engagement with a MiG-15 because he will outturn me and manage to get his guns on. I decide to loop over on the MiG-15 and nearly shit my pants there, because he nearly gets his guns on last minute, and you don't really want to take a last minute head on with a MiG-15 or any sort of MiGs that are jets, to be honest with you, because if those 23mm or 37mm cannon hits you, yeah, it's a good night for you. But the G91 seems to be going quite slow after being in a bit of a tangle with the F-80, so I decided to target him, and as he's going a tiny bit too slow, I managed to let a few rounds go, and he goes down for kill number 2. The MiG-15, whilst trying to pull evasive manoeuvres, turns in front of me, and I managed to shoot off both of his wings for kill number 3. So, after flying towards the F-84 for a little bit, he looks like he's coming in towards myself for a little bit of a head-on. I let a few shots go. Unfortunately none of them do hit, and I just dodge his rounds, making sure he doesn't get a hit on me in the head-on. And I do turn around, hoping that he will stick the dogfight, but he makes the correct move, and he does start to extend, as there are 3 of us around, and only one of him at the moment. Do have a bit of a decent teammate there. The J29 is chasing him, trying to slow him down. And I do get hit by the AAA, as always. I will never catch the F84F if he were to carry on flying straight. The J29 does shout for cover. I'm not really too sure if he needs it at this moment. He does look like he has a really heavy advantage, but I will go and help nonetheless. And you can see that he's sticking on the F84, which is good for me. It will give me time to close the distance, and he's doing a good job. The F84 is jinking and rolling around, which means he's losing quite a lot of airspeed at the moment. And I'm just waiting for my time at the moment to try and get my guns on target. And as he does go vertical to try and follow the J29, lower my throttle down to see if I can lose some speed to get my nose on target. And as you see there, I let a few rounds go and both of his wings do fly off for kill number 4. You will seem to find that happens quite a lot in this plane. The guns are very effective, and I am only using the default rounds. So, after flying around for a little bit, I've been chasing this Buccaneer around for quite a while actually. And the Buccaneer isn't really much of an opponent, but he will outspeed me by quite a bit. And he could easily just keep running away from me at this point. But luckily for me, he does turn in towards me. So I am now closing the distance. And just as he does pull in, I'm setting up my lead and manage to get a few shots off, and down he goes for kill number 5. So that is the ace. There isn't much more that goes on throughout the rest of this game, so that will be all from me. I will show you the rewards as always, but please do like, comment and subscribe. Over and out.